Welcome back to the GTN show. This week we have got a lot to chat about. Firstly, the PTO have just announced their new middle distance world championships. Heather will be explaining more on that in just a second. Also, we have some speculation over the postponement of the Ironman and Ironman 70.3 world championships. And after embarrassing ourselves last week, this week, we get to hear about some of your mistakes and of course not forgetting the virtual race results, getting to take a look through some of your photos and see what the pros have been getting up to.
A new world championship. Who would have expected to hear something like that in this current climate where we're seeing races postponed and cancelled all the time? Well, as a result of the PTO teaming up with Challenge North America, they've decided to channel their energy into Challenge Daytona and make it into a festival event. Well, it's due to be held in December from the 4th till the 6th. And usually this race sees a sort of slightly less tuned pro field because it does fall in the off season. This year could be a little bit different. It might be their first big race, and there's certainly quite a pull to attract the top pros because not only are there 6 places to be given to the championship, the Challenge Championship, which will be held in San Marin in May 2021, but also there's a $1 million prize purse. So I think we could see a stellar lineup if this event happens. There's also a lot in there for age groupers to get excited about too, because there's a middle distance race, a sprint triathlon, there's also a pro-am relay, which sounds quite exciting. And then if you're not into a full triathlon, there's a 5 or a 10K race. I think they've also got a duathlon and an aqua bike. So with all of that going on, it really does sound like it's going to feel like a festival, especially if it's one of the first big races after this lockdown. But we're going to have to wait and see. And it's a bit of a contentious issue at the moment. And I think something that as a sport, we're really talking about, yes, we want to race, but should we be just waiting for everything to calm down first and put the priorities of the health of the world first before we get too excited about racing? I know when I first saw this event and I was speaking to the rest of the GTN team, I was like, this is really exciting. But then they were actually like, well, Mark was saying, hang on a minute, do we actually need to just get back to normal and let everything recover before we try to have an event that might end up being postponed, and that could cause more chaos? And talking of which, Mark is actually going to be talking about some potential postponements later on in the show. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you feel that we're getting excited prematurely here and we should just write off 2020 and say, well, this season's kind of had a bit of a break. Let's just clean the slate, have no races and start fresh in 2021. Or should we get excited as soon as the lockdown's over and go and race? It's time for the GTN poll, and you can answer the question. Just click up here and let us know your thoughts on that topic. And now that leads us on to the results from last week's poll, where it was a little different. We asked you, which would you pick as the worst mistake? And that was, if you did watch last week's show, Mark failing to do a flying mount. It's still, yes, one that makes me cringe. We have Fraser running, I think, 2.5 kilometers with his helmet still on. And then it was me leaving my Epistle at home at Junior Worlds. Well, I'm pleased to say that my mistake wasn't the worst. I just had 13% of the votes. Surprisingly, Mark's bike mounting faux pas was second with 25% of the votes, but it was actually Fraser leaving his helmet on that got 62% of the votes. And I think it's because quite a few of you guys have done the same. And I have to thank you for being so honest and sharing many of your mistakes with us. It certainly made me feel better about many of mine. And I'm now going to share a few of those. So hopefully if you wrote in and shared them, you aren't too embarrassed. Right, this first one we have Rohan, the master of some. And basically, it's a bit of a long story, but he embarrassed himself rather in front of Chris McCormack, having not entirely put his bike back together properly after traveling, and went to stand at the saddle and the handlebars fell down and he basically ended up on the floor. So yeah, well done for admitting that one. I think we've all made mistakes when it comes to rebuilding our bike, and it's my biggest sort of nightmare of checking and triple checking and just wishing I had a mechanic with me at all times. We have this one from Stu Webb. A swimmer went to swim a 1500 metre, rocked up on the blocks in his sweatpants and realised he forgot to put his trunks or leg skins on underneath. I've seen a lot of people make mistakes with swimming. I've certainly done the panic of where are my goggles, and they're normally on my head. Normally takes a few moments for someone else to point that out. Another one here from Michael Piocciocchi, who swam into a boat and hit it. Afterwards realised it was actually a restaurant with people on it. So quite a large boat, I'd imagine. Curtis Brown tried a flying mount, successful, well done, but had his shoes on the pedals the wrong way around, as did Mitchell Jeffrey. Actually had rubber banded his shoes on the wrong pedals. I've not actually managed to succeed a flying mount. So you guys are already ahead of me, even if you have got your feet the wrong way around. And our final one from Claire Hurst, desperately needed the loo after race briefing. Yeah, that's usually me as well. Went to the Portaloo and heard the start gun go off. Yes, panic stations, she says, rushed out. Jumped into the lake and had to swim with my wetsuit half on. That must have been a pretty hard work. But thank you guys for sharing all of those. It certainly made me smile.
All right, it's me again, back with the Tri News, and I should probably start by addressing why the heck I'm in a field. Well, I'm having a lot of work done on my house at the moment, and unfortunately, there's a lot of noise in my house, so I've had to abort my homemade GTN set and come out here into the field, so I'm sorry about that. Let's just hope it doesn't start raining. But I'm going to start the news today by discussing this speculation over the postponement of the Ironman and Ironman 70.3 World Championships. Now, the CEO of Ironman, Andrew Messick, actually held a press conference last week in which he discussed plans for Ironman and the potential resumption of racing when it is possible. And he said that qualifying for Kona in the 70.3 Worlds is at a complete standstill, obviously. We have qualified 3,000 of the 6,000 athletes for Taupo, the 70.3 Worlds, and 1,000 of the 2,500 athletes for Kona. The qualifying challenges become more acute every passing day that we don't have a qualifying race. And therefore, whilst it's not fully decided or official, there are talks of postponing both Kona and Taupo. Another reason for moving Kona, Messick continued, would be to allow for a pro qualifying cycle. A repositioned World Championship solves a lot of problems. He went on to discuss the potential of moving it to February 2021 and then actually still having the 2021 World Championships in October, therefore 2 World Championships in the same year. That's not the first time it's happened, actually. 1982, I believe it is, when they moved the Ironman World Championships from Honolulu to the Big Island. They actually had both the World Championships in February and October. So we could have a repeat of that. The only challenges we have with it going ahead in February is that it's a very touristy time on the island, so it could be quite complicated with booking accommodation. Also, for those athletes training in the Northern Hemisphere, it's a tough time of year to get fit for the World Championships through. But we would assume that given Taupo this year was planned to be a month after the World Championships, or the Ironman World Championships, that it would then, if they postpone that as well, that would take place in March. Like I say, nothing's confirmed or solid, just speculation, but watch this space. Now, everything seems to be going virtual these days, and Ceramic Speed is no different. They have teamed up with Zwift to offer you their OSPW system, the oversized pulley wheel system, in-game. All you need to do is sign up to the Ceramic Speed mission within Zwift, and you will be awarded the oversized pulley wheel system on your bike. And to take things a step further, if you complete a 40k mountain bike on a mountain bike, 80k time trial on a time trial bike, and 120k road bike on a road bike, you will also be awarded the Ceramic Speed kit and entered into a competition to win potentially a real-life OSPW system. Now, each year the London Bike and Triathlon Show takes place here in the UK. It's one of the, if not the biggest bike and triathlon show in the UK, and many of you out there are probably eager to go, and unfortunately, understandably, it was postponed this year. And actually, just a few weeks later, the venue that they were meant to be using, the Excel Centre in London, was actually converted into a hospital. But it was just to let you know, for those that really were excited to go, that they've just announced their new dates, the 5th to the 7th of March, 2021. Now, we've had loads of amazing challenges sent in to us over the past couple of months that people have been undertaking, but one that really stood out to us this week was one from Joe Ducksworth. He is taking on his 10 in 10 indoor Deca triathlon. Started on the 1st of May, completing essentially an Ironman distance every day for 10 days.
So, I'm Joe Duckworth. I'm a 49-year-old airport firefighter from Lancashire. Currently, I'm doing a 10 in 10 Deca indoor challenge. So I replace a row, let the swim with a row. I'm rowing 1 hour every morning, approximately 12k. I'm currently on Zwift with the guys, doing another 12-mile bike ride, and then I'm going to hit the treadmill and do a marathon every day for 10 days. I'm doing it basically because I want to support the NHS. You know, we've all had good race seasons, probably stopped due to the coronavirus. We've all got race fitness. So I thought, why not put it to some good use, race something in the way. So the fitness I've built basically to try and qualify for Kona again, I'm using this week, and then I'll have a nice rest. I'm on day 5 at the moment. I'm feeling pretty good. Feet aren't in great shape, but I'm definitely managing them. Day 3 was a terrible day, felt awful. Had a great day on day 4, feel good for day 5. So yeah. Please donate, please share this with all your friends, and thanks very much. Cheers.
Now, for those sustainably or environmentally conscious, this one may be of interest to you. Did you know that the average train emits somewhere in the region of 12.5 kilograms of CO2e during its production? CO2e stands for carbon dioxide equivalent emissions. But there's a new brand to the market called Allbird, and they claim that theirs on average emits somewhere in the region of 7.6 kilograms of CO2e. And what's better is they're striving to bring that down to 0, but in the meantime, they are taxing themselves on any carbon that they do emit. Why is this relevant? Well, their brand new shoes that have just been released are for runners. They're called the Tree Dashers, available both for men and women. Got a couple of details here. They're made from renewable materials and they've been rigorously tested by countless amateur and pro athletes. Well, now for another fantastic challenge and story, and this one comes from Irishman Stephen Donnelly, who has essentially completed a backyard Ironman in under 9 hours, but to mimic the swim, he has filled a commercial-sized skip with water and swum in there. But he's done a fantastic job, and he's raised well over 10,000 euros. In fact, the time of filming this, it was at 11,877 euros, and he is donating all of that to his local Meals on Wheels service and to the local hospital. And finally, a nice bit of news to finish off with here is that Ironman Foundation have partnered with Operation Iron-Aid Face Masks to help produce face masks and other PPE equipment to supply to first responders, hospitals and other organisations. Now, obviously, a number of parties have come together to help make this possible and to produce these products. But Ironman Foundation have raised a staggering $160,000 that they'll be donating towards this COVID-19 support fund. But something that really stood out that I thought was absolutely brilliant is with these face masks, they're actually reusing new and unused race finisher t-shirts. If this is of interest to you and want to find out more and see if you can help out, head on over to the Ironman Foundation website.
It's a pretty exciting part of the show because it's time to announce our winners from our recent giveaway. Now, you might have spotted Mark talking about the new Sella Italia Watt saddle in a video just over a week ago. Well, there were 4 saddles up for grabs, and we now have 4 lucky winners to announce. So the winners of the Watt Kit Carboneo Superflow are Ryan Lutz and Chris Whittle. Congratulations, guys. And we also have 2 winners of the Watt Gel Superflow, and they are Colleen Kettner and Sandra Altoff. So well done, guys. If you get in touch, we will get those saddles out to you. And if you missed last week's show, we actually have another giveaway for the new Polar Grit X and a Polar Vantage V watch. If you want to see more details on that, then check out last week's show. But you can enter that competition. It's still open at the moment. All you need to do is look in the description below and follow the link there. So good luck to you guys. On to race news now, and yes, it might all be virtual, but it's still pretty exciting. I can't actually believe we're on the 3rd week already of the Zwift Tri Pro Race Series, where we see a mixture of the world's best short course and long course athletes battling it out on Zwift. And this last race was over the Crit City course on the Bell Loop. It was just shy of 2K, so a very fast and furious loop. They had to do it 14 times, making it a total of 27.4K for the race. And there was the opportunity to have a power up on every single one of those 14 laps. So it certainly made it quite exciting to watch. And this week, Zwift actually decided to make sure their results were completely verified, because there's been a little bit of speculation as to some of the athletes' weights. So those who finished in the top 5 actually had to verify their weight just to make sure it's entirely fair. And after all of that, I don't think there were any changes, but the women's race saw an impressive sprint finish by Sophie Caldwell to take the win. It was Melanie Mora, the duathlete, who was second, and then Lucy Charles-Barkley finished third, so on the podium again for Lucy. And the men's race saw another impressive performance from Anthony Costas. Lionel Sanders back on the podium in second place, and an impressive third place finish went to James Cunnama. Well, amazingly, we're on the 5th week of the Ironman Virtual Reality Pro Challenge, and it's still a stellar lineup. We're having 4 female athletes, 4 male athletes selected to compete, and it went back to middle distance. So it was the 70.3 course from Ironman Boulder that was through the Ruvi platform. And the women's race ended up pretty close. It was won by Judith Corican from Spain in a time of 2:24.12, and just 2 seconds behind Jackie Herring with a 2:24.14. It was Paula Finley from Canada who was third, and Kim Morrison finished fourth. The men's race was won by Joe Skipper. A little bit more of a margin there. He had a 2:05.51. And Nico Llanos of Spain was second with a 2:11.19, and Eric Lagerstrom third. Now, Bart Enots had a little bit of a technical malfunction. I think he disconnected from the platform but managed to get back on and actually finish the race, so he had an unofficial fourth. Although interesting, Will Draper from Great Britain actually recorded the second fastest time of the day with a 2:08.20, but he obviously wasn't part of the selected pros in that, but still an impressive performance there.
Well, now time to take a look through all your photos and videos that you've been sending in to us. And we're going to start off here actually with one from Aeneas, and he's from Udenburg, and he sent in a video of him swimming. Very nice, Aeneas, and yeah, we've seen a lot of people tethering themselves or using elastic or bungee cords to the end of a swimming pool. Nice you got a swimming pool though. And similar here with Will, who sent this in from the north of England, also tethered himself to the end of the swimming pool, but it looks like it's an outdoor pool, so he's tried to cover it up to make it a little bit warmer, but that's brilliant. That's such a cool setup in there. Next one comes in from Jamie. He just wanted to send in his bike and just show us what he's been up to, maybe during this lockdown, is that he's been building up his dream race bike. It's the Ribble Ultra Tri TT bike. He was hoping to get ready for Ironman 70.3 Vichy in August. Fingers crossed you can do that. Next one sent in from Matthew. He said his and her Canyon Speed Max set up in their Pain Cove from Redmond. They said living in the rainy Pacific Northwest, indoor training is essential, and obviously definitely so at the moment. But yeah, they've got, wow, quite a setup there. Is that a little boxing thing there? They've got a Swiss ball, they've got the kicker in the middle, they've got numerous, wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bikes in there. That is a cool setup in there. But anyway, next one, this is from Diego, and he wants to also send in his Pain Cave. This is from Buenos Aires, and he's got a very cool poster or artwork on the wall behind the treadmill, and then on the opposite side of the room he's then got his bike set up and the gym and weight equipment. But finally, one from Jim here, and this is from Maryland in the USA, and he's got his Trek Speed Concept. It's a relatively old Trek Speed Concept, I think. Very nice though, not saying there's anything wrong with it. Set up on his turbo train. He said, finally got my setup right, plenty of entertainment options. I can complete my Sufferfest workouts on my tablet while running Zwift on my computer. That's a bit greedy, isn't it? He said he's got the Wahoo kicker. Oh yeah, I didn't spot the Wahoo climb straight away. 2013 Trek Speed Concept. All right, I'll let you off, that's not too bad. But yeah, that's a fantastic Pain Cave for these times. Make sure you keep sending in your photos to us, Pain Caves, what you've been getting up to, videos. Send them in using our photo uploader that's on screen right now or in the description just below. And finally from me, before I hand it back over to Heather, let's take a look through what the pros have been getting up to and posting on social media. Now, I love this post from Sam Appleton over the weekend. He said, Brick Sessions in 2020, hitting it different. And there's him out on the gravel bike, or at least his bike out there on the gravel, and then heading back in for a beer for his brick session. I've got to say, I'm definitely with you, Sam. I'm doing a lot of that at the moment. Then Lionel, back to Mount Lemon. And yeah, I watched this video over the weekend. It's fantastic. It seems like he wanted to set things straight with Sam Long. There was a little bit of controversy over 3 different KOMs, and there's one still outstanding that Sam had the KOM on. But yeah, Lionel, on his second attempt of trying to take it back, went and, well, I don't want to ruin it for you, but he went and got it. And he was very proud to post that over the weekend. Then Jan Frodeno enjoying some freedom. He is in Girona, where they've been in total lockdown. So he's got out on the gravel bike and yeah, posted his canyon there. Alistair Brownlee also out on his gravel bike. He actually did a zip takeover for their Instagram, and I enjoyed actually looking through that and seeing him post a few photos and videos of him enjoying the trails around Yorkshire. And then Holly Lawrence announcing that actually at the weekend she would have done her first Ironman at St George. She was hoping to go slightly under the radar and show up on the start list last minute. So yeah, slightly unfortunate she didn't get to do that. I think we all love to have seen that. But yeah, she's looking forward to hopefully getting to do that at some point in the near future. But finally, I've really enjoyed David McNamee's updates during the coronavirus lockdown, also in Girona. But yeah, he also able to get outside of his flat for the first time in a long time for some training. He said, gone for a 10.3 kilometre run, 48 minutes and 50 seconds. It felt like the last 10K of Kona 2017, but I'm sure he really enjoyed that. And then also out on the bike, gave us a little first ride report. I smiled a lot. I love a tailwind. Bike balance took a few kilometres to regain. I did miss the lack of cake stop from my indoor training though, which is brilliant. So yeah, we love all of those. So keep at it, pros. We love updating everyone on these. But now for Heather.
It's now time for the GTN caption competition. And last week we had this picture from the finishing line of Maurice Clavel. And I've sort of narrowed it down. We've got a few runners up though this week. First up is Corey Nagler. When there's no more racing, but you steal a local Strava segment. Yeah, I think a few of us know that feeling. Sam Sidark, the orthodontist called and asked for a treatment progress photo. Camille Niemzuk says, when you should be at the bachelorette party, but you arrived at the wrong address. I can see where you're going with that one. Made me laugh. SR, there's quite a few on this theme, including the winner, but triathletes, when pools finally open again. Oh, just can't wait, can you? Helmschmidt David, lockdown is over. Oh, I can't wait to hear those words. But our winner this week goes to Gabriela Herrera. I want to break free. I'm so tempted, but no, I won't. I want to break free from, obviously, the song. Brilliant, Gabriela. Do get in touch and we will get a GTN cap to you. And hopefully soon we will all be breaking free. Oh my goodness. Okay, this week's picture, back in the days when we could ride and race outside, to 2009, the ITU Gold Coast World Championships. And what a lovely sunny race that looks, even if the athletes are a little bit close. Well, do let us know your caption suggestions. You can do that in the comments section below for your chance to win one of these GTN caps. We're coming towards the end of this week's show, but there's still plenty more coming up, including behind the scenes of actually how the pros train. We're going to be taking a look at some of the pros' pain caves. So if you're nosy like me, you can look forward to that one. We're also showing you a little bit behind the scenes from us. We've got a GTN vlog coming up, as well as an update on our progress in the 5K training. And yes, I can just say, give you a little insight now. Mine's not going quite to plan, but you'll have to wait and see for that one. And if you're like us, you're probably doing a lot of training indoors at the moment. So check out the GTN shop for some wonderful indoor training bundles. And anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's show. Give us a thumbs up, like, and remember to subscribe by clicking on the globe. And if you want to catch a couple of videos that are already out there, we've got our top GTN tech over the years. You can find that video just down here. And we've also got a video on how to run without getting tired. I think I need to watch that one again. That's just here.